Good morning, Facebookers. Pete Cohen in the house. We had some challenges this morning, but we're back here. We've just broadcast on Instagram. Maybe it was a blessing in disguise, because Instagram, I don't know about you, but I think it's a pretty cool application, and you guys, you can feel free to come and follow me on there if you want. I mean, why not? So, what have you done today to make yourself feel proud? Some of you are going to be hearing what I just said on Instagram if you're coming back, but you know what? I am going to be as good as my word, and I'm now broadcasting on Facebook to all of you. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Just wait for this to share. This is day 5 on conquering stress, which is a bit of a joke because you can never conquer stress. How can you conquer stress? You can never conquer it because you want it. You want to be stressed, because stress, as you're now going to know, is going to be one of the biggest things, the things that you love most in the whole wide world. Thank you for joining me. Nadine McKenzie is in the house, our first ever member of the month. Amazing. Can't wait to see you at the My365 Summit. Along with, I think it's your sister, right? Jolene. Anyway, listen, thank you for joining me. I'm so excited that you guys are here. This morning was a little bit stressful, but because the technology wasn't working, but we're here now. So, guys, please share this. Feel free to share it. Get this information out there to the world. Thank you. Stephen Hughes Landers has joined the party, everyone. Let's give a massive shout out to him. Let's give him a round of applause. Let's give him a seal of approval. If you haven't heard the podcast I did with him, check it out. It's awesome. My365.me /podcasts. Listen to someone who basically did something which most people thought he was crazy. He gave up pretty much everything to pursue his dreams. What will you do to achieve your dreams? Now, I'm pleased that he is here because we're talking about stress. And this is fascinating. We're going to do a review. We're going to do a review of what we've done this week. I have made more notes this week on any other week. In the 2 years of doing this, I've made so many notes because I am the one who wants to get the most out of this than anybody else. I want to one day, when I see you again or when I meet you for the first time, to say to you, I got more out of My365 than you did, because I fully immersed myself in what I'm learning, what I'm sharing, what I'm teaching, what I'm asking people to do. And I really, really appreciate you for that, because we all know that life isn't particularly easy. And we're living in a world that we're not really designed to live in that world. We have a brain that is 2 million years old. And I'm really pleased that, like I said, that Stephen is here, because I'm going to explain something to you. And it's how we deal with stress. Okay? We can either be threatened by the stress, or we can either be challenged by it. Completely different responses, but very similar in some ways, in terms of your heart will still beat fast. You will still be challenged. You will still have anxiety. Adrenaline will still pump out, regardless of whether you're challenged. That's why one of the worst things you can say to someone when they're really stressed is calm down. Because stress is up here and calm is down here. They are poles apart from each other. So, what I want all of you to do, just take a moment to think about this. If you've got a pen and paper to hand, what have you learned this week? Are there any things that just come to mind immediately? I've kind of learned this, I've learned that. And another question, what have you learned since you've been a whole part of the whole My365 experience? Again, write that down. Anything that comes to mind. And another question, I'm getting you to think on your feet here, is where are you going next? Everyone, think about, where am I going next? Where do I want to go? Because very few people will tell you that. They'll tell you where they're going to go today. I know where I'm going today, which I'm extremely excited about, which I'll be able to share with you another time. I know where I'm going today, but do I know where I'm going next week? Do I know where I'm going next month? Absolutely. Positively impact the lives of 100 million people around the world. That's where I'm going. I mean, it's big, right? What about you? What about you? Where are you going? Because and I'm a bit stressed about thinking about where I'm going, but it fires me up. It fires me up. What about you? So I want you guys to make some notes around that, because this is what learning is. Learning is where you become more aware, you take responsibility, and You're like a scientist, a journalist. It's like, okay, what am I learning today? Because we love to grow. How many of you love to grow? You feel you were put on this earth to grow in some way, whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally, to grow, to be a better version of yourself. It's not always easy. It's not always easy because you know this. Let's do a review. Why do we get stressed? What is stress? Stress is an external force on a material object. Are you a material object? Yes or no? Yes or no, material object? Yes. So if I push you, I'm putting stress on you. If I push you down, I'm putting stress on you. But when you experience stress, stress is not something that is happening to you. It's happening within you, in you. Stress is in here, right? That's it. That's what stress is. Stress is something that's happening within you. Why do we get stressed? This is fascinating to me. We get stressed because of the things that we care about. Do you get stressed about things you don't care about? I just watched Arnold Schwarzenegger. I follow him on Instagram, and I love what he's saying about standing up against the Nazis, standing up against fascism, standing up against Donald Trump. I love it. I love seeing people stand up. I love to see you guys stand up and say, this is who I am, this is what my life's about, and this is where I'm going. It's just whether you've got the balls to do it. Because a lot of us will let fear, well, I'm not doing that. It doesn't have to be massively grandiose, but to stand up for what you believe in. Now, what do you believe? What do you believe about stress? Because one of the things that we have been told is stress is bad for us. Stress isn't bad for you. Stress means you're alive. And why do we get stressed? Because of the things that we care about. What do you care about? Do you care about your family? Do you care about your finances? Do you care about your business? Do you care about your health? Do you care about these things? If you care about them, you're going to experience stress. If you want to grow as a human being, you're going to experience stress. Look outside. Have you ever looked outside and looked at anything and thought, how's that here? Why are those trees over there? And do you think that tree has gone through any sort of stress to get there? Any wind, any rain, any extreme heat? It's still here. It's still grown. This is what is so fascinating. And one of the greatest studies was done with 30,000 people in America, where they were asked 2 questions. Fascinating. 2 questions. How much stress have you experienced in the last year? Right? And the next question was, do you think stress is bad for you? And these people were followed for 8 years. And what is amazing is people that thought stress was bad for them had a 43% more chance of dying. But the ones who experienced stress but didn't think it was bad for them, they lived as long a life as everybody else. Stress means you're alive. And this is what I wanted to say to you, right? And that's why I'm pleased that Stephen is here. Because look, if I asked you to do something that was difficult, right? If I said, right now, guys, I want you to get up on stage in front of 10,000 people. 10,000 people, and they all really don't like you. And you've got to talk about your weaknesses, and they're there to judge you. How many of you would immediately feel, you'd feel stressed, right? What would happen? Your heart would start beating. You secrete adrenaline. There's also another hormone that you secrete, which might surprise some of you. It's called oxytocin. Most people think oxytocin is the hormone you produce when you get hugged or you have a baby and you just feel this huge love. Oxytocin is a stress hormone as well. But what most of you would do is you would feel threatened by this. Your heart would start beating. You'd start going, oh my God, no one likes me. It's all going to go wrong. This is the interesting thing. Your blood vessels would constrict because you believe that you're in a difficult situation. And that is one of the main reasons why stress causes heart disease when you are threatened by the stress. But if you put me in a position of 10,000 people on stage, I would get stressed. I would get stressed. I'd get blood pumping all over my body. The difference between maybe you and me in that situation is I'm challenged by it. When I'm challenged by it, I have a different response in that my blood vessels will dilate, which means I will get oxygen to my body and get oxygen all the way down to my brain everywhere because I want to bring it on. I want that situation. Now, I'm not saying you need to do that, because for some of you, that's a massive stretch. Now, the reason with someone like Stephen Hughes Landers, and I would really encourage you to listen to that podcast, go and follow him, go and look at some of his videos. This is a guy that came up with an idea, and his idea was to take kind of gymnastic type movements. He'd seen other people do it, and he decided to build a career out of it. Gymnastic movements, basically outside, doing crazy movements, crazy things. But for him, he was challenged by what it is that he thought he could do. So you can imagine his stress response would be blood vessels open, and he's ready, like, do it. And most of us would do the opposite because we haven't done it before. But if we always do what we've always done, we'll always get what we've always got. We'll never grow. But if you did something, and a little bit of stretching, a little bit of stretching, a little bit of stretching, over time, you will have a completely different response. Is this going in? You have an opportunity. I ask all of you to say this, to write this down today. I trust myself. This is what you should start saying. I trust myself to handle what life throws at me. Why? Because you've already got a ton of evidence. How many times have things in your life happened to you and you're still here right now because you did it? You dealt with it. How many times have you got stressed and afterwards thought back, oh my God, why did I get so stressed? I've done that so many times, probably thousands of times, but I'm getting better because I trust myself. I trust myself. Don't trust other people. People let themselves down all the time. You've let yourself down enough times. Now is the time to trust yourself and do what you say you're going to do. So what have you learned this week? Maybe you've learned this week that stress isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's a good thing. It means you're ready. It means you're excited. Look, I find fear and excitement are the same energy. Most think about that if the mess up. Yeah, so the next time you feel frightened, you should say, thank you. You should say, I'm excited. I'm excited about this situation. It changes everything. Your brain believes what you say. If you say, I'm frightened. And something else you might have learned this week is when you say to yourself, I'm frightened, you could say that voice is there for you to tell yourself, well, let me show you what I can do because I'm excited. Bring it on. Bring it on. No one is asking you to do anything that's crazy. Unless you want to do something that's crazy, you know, jump off a bridge, but just make sure you've got a rope or something with you, or, you know, you want to see how long you can fly for. It's all about stretching yourself. So there's been so much this week. So much. So the way I liken it is like having a pair of glasses that allow you to see the world. You can either see the world through threatened eyes, or you can see the world through eyes that are challenged. What I'm going to ask every single one of you to do today is, oh, by the way, so I said that when you get stressed, you secrete adrenaline, but you also secrete oxytocin. Oxytocin is the hormone that you produce when you hug someone, when you love someone. But stress also gives you this opportunity to love what you're doing and share your journey with others. Imagine going through this life if you were just on your own. Show people what you can do. And my challenge to you, how many of you are up for a challenge? How many of you are up for a challenge? Because let me tell you, what some of you have achieved is incredible. What Laura has achieved, what Gemma has achieved, what so many of you have achieved since you have been on this journey of developing yourself, what Carmen has achieved. It's unbelievable what Cheryl Hughes has achieved in losing however many stone that she's lost, how much Sarah Jane Woods has achieved. All of you, what you've achieved is phenomenal. What Melissa has achieved, you could say the odds were stacked against you. Yeah, they probably were. What Joanne Gibbons has achieved, how much weight she has lost, but what she's gained, what you guys have achieved is amazing. What Kate Caruth has achieved, well, over 5.5 stone in weight loss, changed her career, started doing the most amazing work, living her life's dream, her passion. Joe Tyler, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. So this is what I want you to do. Make a video and get in front of a camera and post this publicly. Make a statement of intent. Tell the world, this is who I am. I am Pete Cohen. And this is what I have learned since I've been a part of My 365. I have learned to be a better coach. I have learned to be more inspired than I've ever been. I have learned to connect to where I'm going in my life. I have helped so many people or inspired so many people. And you know what? The best is yet to come. Where am I going? 100 million people globally. What you've done is phenomenal. I don't think you realize the difference that you make to people because you are humane. And let's bring this to life a little bit more because I'm fired up right now. There is a couple of types of lifestyles. It's the hedonistic lifestyle. Who's ever lived that? The hedonistic. Yeah, let's feel good now. Yeah. Yeah. Anyone done that before? I have. When I was about 14, I started. Why? I didn't like school. I didn't like being told what to do. I wouldn't have gone to school out of choice. I would have done something else. I would have played games outside. I would have done something which made me... So I rebelled. I didn't want to be a brick in the wall. Did any of you want to be a brick in the wall? No, I didn't want to be a... But maybe you did. This is just me I'm talking about. So I chose to be more of a hedonistic. I chose to be in a group where I was recognized for knocking down windows and knocking on doors and running away and causing trouble and just fitting in with the group. But what happens over time is a lot of people get into that hedonistic lifestyle and think happiness is a future destination. Now, we should have goals and dreams and ambitions, but rather than being a hedonistic lifestyle, we should have what's called a eudaimonia, where we want to contribute, we want to grow, we want to be an example, we want to connect with people. We want to connect. I'm connecting with you. Why? Because I care for you. To live a life where you grow, if you want to grow, then guess what? You're going to be challenged. If you can take the challenge on and bring it on, because the challenge is stress. Why do we get stressed? We get stressed about things we care about. I care about the world. I care about humanity. That's why I want to impact the lives of 100 million people. What about you? What about you? You know, I'm not saying we shouldn't drink and smoke and do all of those things. That's up to you. But you know that there's more to you than meets the eye. And one of the things that grates people and causes them most stress is the fact that they think they should be happy. No, you should be you. You should be you. Doing what makes you happy, doing what makes you feel most alive. I could go on and on and on about this. I just want to thank everyone for showing up this week. I'm sorry about the technical challenges we had this morning on Facebook, but who cares? We're here now. We're here now. So I know one of the biggest challenges you have is to do what I'm asking you to do. Is to get out there and say, this is who I am. This is what I've achieved and this is what I'm going to do. Whether you want to accredit My365 for that or not, that's really up to you. I don't care. But share the world what you've done. Get it out there. Get it out there. If professionally there's some reason you can't do this, then fair enough. You know, I'm not telling you you have to do anything. You do what you want. But if you get uncomfortable about this, stand up, take a deep breath, bring it on. If you post it publicly, post it in the My365 group as well. You guys are warriors. Diane Mary Wild, she is a warrior. Desi Willibury, you're a warrior. Para, we've only just got started. We've only just got started. 2 years doing this, I think. I've only just got started. What about you? Or should we stop this? No more broadcast, that's it. You know, this is it. We finished. There's no need to do any more of this. We've come as far as we can. No. There's always another level. There's always another level. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. We'll see you next week. Next week is going to blow some of you away. Our elite members, we'll see you at 6:30 Monday morning. For everyone else, we'll see you at 7 a.m. Monday to Friday next week. I love you. Thank you for being here. And remember, it's time for you to welcome stress. Don't think of it as bad. Don't run away from it. You need it. It's a sign to grow. Embrace it, accept it, welcome it. Bring it on. Bring it on. Bring it on. Have an amazing day. Much love to all. Put a smile on your face. Give yourself a big hug. Guess what? The best is yet to come.